What's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power, and this is what you've all been waiting for, the prejudging for the 2024 Dubai Pro. Just wrapped up. So let's talk about it. This is kind of what we expected to happen here. In the first call out, you had all three guys that we talked about, basically the whole build up for this show: Bonac, Behrooz, and Nathan Diasha. You also had Neckzilla making the first call out. So let's talk about Neckzilla first, because he's not in the conversation to win this show. And I want to show you guys, we're looking at the first call out right now, but I want to show you guys Neckzilla's individual routine, because you don't get to see him at the very end for the top three call out, because he's not in the top three. And I feel like in this first call out shot, it's like too zoomed out to really see a whole lot of detail in these guys. So let's look at Rubiel's individual prejudging routine. And I want you guys to notice, and again, take note that this is prejudging. This is not finals. So Rubiel is doing a lot of dancing, a lot of moving around in his individual routine, which is weird because, again, this is prejudging. That's for the finals routine. And I think the reason that Rubiel is doing that is because he's off, and he knows he's off. You know, obviously, the thing that we expected from Rubiel is that he was going to be insanely muscular, insanely big. And he was. And I think that's the only reason he made the first call, is because there's so much muscle on this dude's physique. He's like undeniable in terms of being the most muscular guy on stage. There's no doubt about that. He was bigger and more muscular than anybody in that first call out, but conditioning-wise, I think just way off. Very smooth, very watery. And if you look at this individual routine, I want you to pay attention especially to the back poses. I mean, literally almost no separation in the hamstrings, almost no detail in the glutes, just like completely watery, washed out. And I think the back poses in general, not great shots for him, especially the back double bicep. The back lat spread was okay because it shows off just his sheer width. But then even when you look at him from the front, he's famous for these insane quads, right? But when you look at his quads, they're just not separated. There's not a whole lot of detail there, just kind of big, full, but I think very watery and smooth. He kind of reminds me of Akeem Williams with that like thick skin look, where it's hard to see a whole lot of detail from him. And I feel like now I can kind of see why Rubiel blocked me, because I think I was right about what was going on with Rubiel. I've talked about for the weeks building up to this show, it seems like something is off with him as far as he stopped posting physique updates. He was talking about how difficult this prep was for him. It sounded like he almost didn't even want to do the show. It didn't sound like he was very happy with his coaching situation. That sounded like it was forced upon him by his sponsors. And then, like I said, you've got this track record of, with the Arnold Classic UK, the Arnold Classic US, the New York Pro, skipping all these major shows. I just kind of had this bad feeling about Rubiel going into Dubai. And then I even told you guys, I talked to a really reputable source that was there in Dubai this week, and he told me Nathan looked really good, but he also told me that Rubiel looked really bad. And specifically, he said Rubiel looked 10 weeks out when he saw him this week in Dubai for the show. And I think that was a very accurate assessment. I think this looked like guest posing conditioning at best. And honestly, I think if it was anybody else that didn't have just that sheer muscle mass that Rubiel has, that level of conditioning would not have made the first call out. So I think everything that I was starting to suspect about Rubiel was right. I mean, I think he stopped posting physique updates because I feel like he realized he was off. And I feel like we didn't see him post updates from the back because from the back he looked very soft. And I think what we're hearing about potentially, whatever situation with his coaching or the stuff that he was unhappy with about the sponsors and kind of feeling forced to do the show, it seems like that was true too. But still, obviously a freak. I still think he's got a ton of potential. He's a very young bodybuilder, and I think if he's able to one day condition down this physique to like a real level of conditioning, like a Behrooz or a Bonac, he's going to be a real dangerous guy. But right now, he's just not there. So this competition, the final 3 call-out, was what we expected it to be really the whole time. It's the 3 guys that we've been talking about that have been going back-to-back, back and forth, winning these shows. And that's Behrooz, Nathan, and William Bonac. Now, in my opinion, it looks like it's pretty clearly between Behrooz and Bonac to me. And the reason I say that is Nathan looks a little bit off from where he was when he beat Bonac the last time they went head-to-head. And Bonac looks a little bit better. He looks sharper and fuller here than the last time him and Nathan went head-to-head. Nathan just looks a little bit softer, and I think he looked a lot better at that last show where he beat Bonac. And if you guys remember the order of things, first it was Bonac beat Behrooz, and then Behrooz beat Nathan, and then Nathan beat Bonac. So all these guys have kind of gone back and forth, but the only thing that we have not seen is Behrooz beat Bonac in those previous shows. So I think Bonac is definitely getting some redemption here. Like I said, I think the top 2 is going to be Behrooz and Bonac. So I don't think that Nathan is going to be beating Bonac this time around. So Bonac's going to take that win back at this show. And I think definitely place ahead of Nathan. Behrooz looks really good here. But I was looking back at the video of the first time that Behrooz and Bonac went head-to-head, and Bonac beat him. I think Bonac looks better than he looked at that showing where he beat Behrooz at that first show. And Behrooz, I thought, looked a little bit sharper at that first show where he lost to Bonac. So me personally, I'm kind of leaning towards Bonac on this one. And I think all the things that you could say about Behrooz were already said the first time around when Bonac won, and that was he's more aesthetic than Bonac. He's got a better structure, more pleasing to look at, and also he is bigger. And I think his conditioning was really good here, but I think he was sharper the first time him and Bonac went head-to-head, and Bonac beat him that time around. So I got to say, I feel like I'm leaning towards Bonac on this one. But like I said earlier, the only thing we haven't seen is Behrooz beat Bonac. We've seen Bonac beat Behrooz. We've seen Behrooz beat Nathan. We've seen Nathan beat Bonac. I guess we also haven't seen Nathan beat Behrooz, but I don't think that's going to happen here. I think this is very clearly between Bonac and Behrooz. But to me, that's kind of how I'm looking at it. To me, Bonac looks better than the first time around with him and Behrooz, and Behrooz looks a little bit less sharp than the first time around with Bonac and Behrooz. So I think, to me, that logic would suggest that Bonac would win this. But on the other hand, with these 3 guys, anything can happen. This is a very entertaining top 3. All 3 of them have won a show. All 3 of them have qualified for the Olympia. All 3 of them have gone back and forth on stage. And this is kind of what we expected the Dubai Pro to become, was a massive rematch between these guys. And that's what we got with Neckzilla out of the loop here. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Who do you guys have winning? What did you think about Neckzilla? And then make sure you subscribe. Come back for the finals coverage tonight. Like, comment, all that good stuff. And as always, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power signing out. All right, guys, don't forget to click that like button and subscribe to this channel if you enjoy the content. Also, check out my Instagram at NickStrengthPower. My Facebook page, which is simply Nick Strength and Power. My secondary YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Vlogs, for vlogs and bonus content that you will not see on this channel. And consider subscribing to my third YouTube channel, Nick Strength and Pokemon, which is all things Pokemon and trading card games, completely unrelated to this channel. So if you're into that, give that one a look. And all links to merchandise and social media will be in the description box below. If you guys want a Nick Strength and Power t-shirt, that will be in the Shopify link below. Have a great day.